Hi, it's Mrs. Nixdorf here with a Diffit tutorial. So one of the great features of Diffit now when you sign in, so make sure you sign in with your Google Prairie Rose email address, is this books feature here. So if you click on this books, this is the best way to create a novel study, and it's free because we have a Diffit Premium account. And so you can type in just about any title of book that you would have. You can click on your book, and this is really important. I would suggest that you chunk your novel study into chapters instead of just doing the entire book. So I'm going to choose chapters 1 through 4. And you can see here we can use the translate feature. We're going to keep it in English for now. We can adjust the reading level. We can align it to skills and standards. It's not quite set up for Alberta. So we're just going to leave that part blank for now, and we're going to click on generate resources. Okay, so we can see here that there is a new feature that shows up on the right hand side here called Diffit Chat. And so this is a way for us to do some editing or changes to the output. And so we have here what eventually can become a completely printable, or up here with export, your options are a Google Doc. You could export it to Google Slides, and Mrs. Canikin's favorite, a Google form. We can quickly go through and check our resource here. Now, I might not include this summary at the beginning of my novel study, so I can just hit the trash can and remove that section of the activity. The next thing we have here is a vocabulary section. What's great about this is that everything in here is editable before you export it. And of course, once it's exported, as long as it's not a PDF, you can edit it as well. So you can see here that the Diffit Chat gives us a few prompts or ideas that we might not have thought of on our own. So in this case, it's saying, do we want to scaffold this for struggling readers? Do we want to deepen the character analysis? Do we want to connect to themes? Let's say we want to connect to themes. It automatically, when I click that button, gave us the prompt here, and I can go ahead and click send. And so you can see here that it's added to the bottom of this collection a new activity. And so you can see that it's the chatbot is talking to me and telling me what it's added. It's kind of a scaffolded activity to further enhance the themes of this novel study. So we can kind of quickly go through and see some of the things that are here. There's a pair share activity. We've got the vocabulary activity. You can see how it's already sort of set it up to look just like a student worksheet. There's a great graphic organizer here for character traits. Let's take a look at what it looks like to export this to a Google slide. Now, I would never share this directly to the Google Classroom. Open it to Google Slides first. And just like any Google document, this is going to be editable in here. And then from here, you could make any changes you wanted. So in this case, this vocabulary activity already gives the definition. Maybe we want an activity where the students have to come up with their own sentences. And so we could just go in here and delete the examples that are given. And then the student has to write in their own sentence using that word. So there's an example of how you can completely edit this before you send it out to your students. And you can see they're all here ready to go. Let's just head back to our Diffit. I'm going to ask for a reading comprehension quiz. Let's say 10 questions. Now remember, we've already set it to chapter 1 to 4, so it should stay within those parameters. 10 questions, reading comprehension quiz. It's given us sort of the breakdown of the questions that it's added. We didn't even ask for this, and it's given us some additional short answer questions as well. We can also export this to a Google Forms quiz. Now we can see here that there's choices, so we don't have to actually select everything. Maybe we just want the multiple choice, so we're going to check that box, and then we'll click on create a Google Form quiz. Always check it first, so we'll go to open Google Form. Here we go, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, the multiple choice questions, and look at that, the check mark is there by the correct response. So we'll make sure, teachers, that we go through and check that the questions and the answers are correct. Of course, AI can make mistakes still. So you have a complete Google Form reading comprehension quiz completed in Diffit that you could have submit to your students through Google Classroom. Let's see here. So there was another suggestion that the Diffit Chat offered, which was to add sentence starters. So maybe you want to create some differentiation for some of your students. So we could say, let's add add some sentence starters. So here it's saying we want that to just that activity we've added at the end. We've got the reading summary, and then you can see here now it's added some sentence starters for our students who might need some differentiation or have struggles to get started. This is a way to get that differentiation done quite quickly and easily for your class. Then again, you could export this and then just send it to the students who would need that kind of differentiation. Let's try one more tool from the Diffit chat. We know that writing in general can be a struggle for some of our students, and so one of the best ways to get them started is a graphic organizer. So I'm going to ask Diffit to create a graphic organizer using the hamburger strategy. Look at this. We have the hamburger paragraph. It's given us some instructions. It's got a little bit of an introduction about what the topic sentence should be about, and then it gives us the 3 details and finally the bottom bun. And so now let's use this graphic organizer, and we can ask Diffit to give us 2 written response questions for students to connect the text personally and critically. Okay, so here's 2 short answer questions, and we would have the students use our recently created hamburger graphic organizer to write a paragraph in response to these 2 short answer questions. They've given us more than what we've asked for, so you could offer choice to your students, or you could choose which ones you would want them to respond to. And of course, then they can use that created graphic organizer to get all of the content that they need. So there is a really quick introduction to how you can create your own incredible novel studies at no cost to you using Diffit.